I'm Officer Harold Eley, and welcome to Behind the Badge, where you get an up-close and personal look at your Newport News Police Department. Fighting crime is what we do, and our #1 goal is to reduce crime and to reduce the fear of crime in the city of Newport News. But we know that we can't do that alone, so we need the help of a dedicated community, and we need the help of strong partnerships to get the job done. Today, Behind the Badge has traveled to the Virginia Peninsula Chamber of Commerce to talk with representatives of one of our most successful crime line programs, the Peninsula Crime Line. With me here today is Mr. Fred Kern. Now, Mr. Kern, you are a past president of the Peninsula Crime Line. You are a retired engineer from NASA. And before we actually talk about what I want to talk about today, which is the Crime Line program, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in Wheeling, West Virginia, educated in West Virginia. I came to the Peninsula in 1961 and joined the NASA Langley Research Center and worked there for 34 years. After retirement, I was asked to attend a Peninsula Crime Line meeting and see if I was interested in joining. After one meeting, I was hooked, and I have been with the Peninsula Crime Line for 12 years.
12 years. All right, so working with Peninsula Crime Line, you are a volunteer, is that correct?
That is correct. There's no paid employees on the crime line. We're all volunteers.
Then let's get off on the right foot. Tell everybody what Crime Line is.
Crime Line is a all-volunteer, citizen-based program. But it's not an independent program. It is a collection or a partnership between the law enforcement of the departments on the entire peninsula, including Gloucester now. It is a partnership with the media, because the media advertises the crimes that are out there, and it gets us the information we need. Crime Line's main objective is to gather information anonymously and to provide that information to law enforcement to solve crimes. If an arrest is made from that information, Crime Line pays up to $1,000 reward. What's interesting about the program is that the Crime Line program receives no local, state, or federal dollars to pay rewards. This money comes from our silent partners, so to speak, and that is corporations, small and large businesses, organizations, and individuals across the peninsula.
So Crime Line is a program where everybody has to pitch in to actually make it work.
That is absolutely correct, because if any one of those four elements doesn't function properly, then Crime Line cannot do its job.
Okay, let's go back to the history a little bit of Crime Line, because so many people have always said that they thought the Crime Line was a police program, and we know that it's not. We're just part of that partnership.
Yes.
So go back to Crime Line's history. Where did it start?
Well, Crime Line started in 1976 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in trying to solve a murder at a convenience store out in the middle of nowhere in Albuquerque, with no clues other than some tire tracks skidding out on from the convenience store onto the highway. They decided to make a film and put the film on the news to see if it would generate any interest. The story varies from the first call to the 8th call, but very shortly they got a tip from a person that was saying, this person pulled out in front of me and almost hit me, and she wrote down the license plate number and stuffed it in her glove compartment. Not doing anything with it until she heard it on the radio. She called it in, and that was the birth of Crime Line. 1982, the Peninsula Crime Line formed its own program.
Okay.
And currently there is in excess of 50 such programs across the state of Virginia.
Okay. Now, across the state of Virginia, we have the 50+ programs, but it's much larger than that.
Yes, it is an international program. Mm-hmm. Across the United States, there are about 1,100 programs known by Crime Line, Crime Stoppers, Crime Solvers, Silent Witness, or any other name, but they all function virtually the same. They collect collect information anonymously, and that is very important in this program. If there's an arrest involved, recovery of stolen property, or seizure of illegal drugs, or other critical information for law enforcement, Crime Line pays that reward to that anonymous citizen.
All right. Let's set it up a little bit. I'm a crime line coordinator, so I receive a tip about whatever crime has occurred. And I assign an investigator to go out and research that tip. And if we make an arrest on that tip, then that crime line caller is eligible for a reward. But how does the crime line caller, how do we contact that person? How do we stay in contact?
Well, okay, first of all, we can't contact the person because the person is anonymous. The coordinator, when he gets the initial call or tip, assigns a control number to that person for that particular tip. And that is the way communication has been maintained. The tipster is asked to call back periodically to determine what the progress on the tip was, if the tip solved the case, and if the case was solved, the arrest was made, then what happens is the coordinator takes that information to the all-volunteer crime line board, presents it to the board, and the board decides then, based upon a given set of criteria and formula, what that reward, how much that reward will be to that person. It's not arbitrary, it's pretty well controlled. The person then, the tipster then will call back at some time and ask for information. Did I solve the crime? And if the case is yes, the coordinator will say, you have to go to this particular location to get your reward. It is paid in cash. There is no record. And you have to provide certain information, your control number and certain information to get that reward at that location. And we have many locations across the peninsula where the tipster can go.
And we've done this successfully for over 20 years.
We've done it successfully since 1982.
1982.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I think the basic premise of it is you give a tip and you get a reward. But there's something else going on there. All right? Anonymity.
Yes.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Okay, well, the anonymity is the cornerstone of the crime line program. In today's environment, with snitching, and I don't really like that word, and people not wanting to talk or get involved, Crime Line offers the citizen a way to get involved but not be identified. Being anonymous, the Crime Line caller will never have to testify in court. We never ask their name, their address, or any identifying information of that person. They are truly anonymous. And the only link between our program and that tipster is that control number.
Okay. All right.
If that person forgets that control number, that link is broken.
Something else that I like about the Crime Line program that I've learned about over the years is that a lot of callers want the money, yes, but there are always callers that really don't want the money. They just want to see justice served.
That is correct. And we track that, and you find across the United States, the percentage of people that say, I don't want a reward, can be as many as 25% of the callers in any month. So that's very significant that people do get involved and do not want the reward for that.
All right. So we are the Peninsula Crime Line. So how many jurisdictions are we dealing with?
Well, Peninsula Crime Line deals with, and I'm going to name the jurisdictions: Newport News, Hampton, Poquoson, York County, Williamsburg, James City County, and just in July, Gloucester County as part of our program. So we deal with a sizable number of people and jurisdictions.
All right. And in a typical meeting of the Crime Line board, how does that function? Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Well, the meeting, we meet once a month, the beginning of the first Wednesday of every month. Lasts about an hour. We go over the normal things that an organization does, as the minutes and the treasurer's report and things like this. Then we hear the reports from each of the police coordinators. Now, each of our jurisdictions we have has a law enforcement officer, a crime line coordinator assigned to the program to be the liaison between the crime line program and their department. They present their cases that have been solved and for consideration for the reward. And then if they're approved, then the coordinator then takes that information back to his office and he waits for the tipster to call and say, I'm caller number such and such, and did my information, my tip, solve a crime.
Okay.
It's
Now,
that simple.
It's that simple. And it works.
It works.
All right, you're a past president of the Peninsula Crime Line. You've also been a past president of the Virginia Crime Stoppers Association.
Yes.
So, as a past president, tell us what you think the real value of the Crime Line program is.
The real value of the Crime Line program is that it offers the opportunity for citizens to coordinate and provide information to law enforcement without getting involved. And that is a kind of a key issue across the nation, and particularly anywhere you go within the program. But that anonymity is the key to the whole program. And that is, it's more than, I think it's more than the money, because they know their identity has been protected, because we don't know who it is and we don't want to know.
Okay. Well, Mr. Fred Kern, I want to thank you very much for talking to us a little bit about the Crime Line program. And I know that in a few minutes we're going to have the current president of the Peninsula Crime Line come in and talk to us. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, and we'll be right back with Behind the Badge.
Hello, folks. What's one of the best kept secrets in Hampton Roads? Give up? It's the Hampton Roads Crime Line. Crime Line 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. Crime Line and Crime Solver programs cover areas from Virginia Beach to Isle of Wight, all the way up through the northern parts of the peninsula, pretty much all of Hampton Roads. If you can hear my voice, you probably have a local Crime Line or Crime Solver program. We work with 15 local police jurisdictions. In 2009, callers to the Crime Line helped in the arrest of 406 people, solved 967 cases, and received over $90,000 in rewards. If you have a tip or helpful information, call Crime Line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP or 1-888-562-5887. You don't leave your name. Calls are not recorded, and you may be eligible for a cash reward if your information leads to an arrest. Crime Line. It works. It pays.